This is Western New South Wales, approximately 30 kilometres outside Broken Hill, and it's what we call the real outback. It's dry and arid, but it's a great place to take your four-wheel drive.
And right now we're heading out to Aldie Station. Behind me, stretching almost as far as the eye can see, is the famous Mundy Plains. And speaking of famous, Shaun, you'd know the stretch of road?
Absolutely, mate.
Very, very famous scene from Mad Max where he comes cruising down the hill in the last of the V8 Interceptors. But more important than all of that, this is the heart of the New South Wales outback. And I don't know about you, mate, but I am dead keen to get stuck into it. You ready?
Kick it in the guts, Maxie.
Kick it in the guts, Maxie. Let's go. How good's that mountain range there, Shaun? You wouldn't really expect it out here. It's so flat on the Mundy range over there on the left. Just to see that rising up, it's pretty specky.
Yeah, I bet you get a good view from up there, mate. It's pretty special out here.
Ah, you got to see the outback. It's as essential as going to the Cape, as going to the Simo. You got to come out to the outback.
Looking for a mad deal on the gear that you're chasing? Like this awning, I've got you covered. Keep an eye out throughout this video for an exclusive discount code and get 10% off store-wide for all 4WD Super Centre YouTube subscribers. And as always, enjoy this adventure because this is an epic trip.
Aldie will become our base station for the next few days, and we'll be exploring the tracks and showing you at home some great tips and tricks for travelling this remote country. This is Steve. He owns and runs Aldie Station with his wife Naomi. He's a fourth generation owner and he loves to share his part of the Australian outback and the local knowledge that goes with it.
Done. Have we got a UHF channel here to get back to you on?
Channel 11, mate.
Channel 11,
Yep.
Get back to you on. All right, sweet stuff. We're on top of a hill.
Yep.
The 60 breaks down.
Which will never happen.
All right, you ready to go?
I am, mate.
All right.
Give us a call to get in trouble.
Right up.
Thanks,
Cheers.
mate.
Hey, this is the Barrier Range we're coming up on here, mate. I am dead keen to get up on top and have a look at the view. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we can... Looks like a track over there on my left. You want to have a crack?
Yeah, roger that, mate. You go first and I'll follow behind.
Not far from the homestead, and you can access a great little viewpoint. And I just want to shoot up there and get a look at the lay of the land out here before we get stuck into the four-wheel drive tracks that lead deep into the station. Up the top, and you can get a clear view of this huge cattle station. But of course, we're not the only ones admiring the amazing scenery up here. We're just driving up the hill here and I noticed these two little blokes on the side of the road. I jumped out and grabbed them. Mum's just here. We'll let them go in a second and she'll find them, no problem at all. But as you can tell, they're only days old. They've still got an umbilical cord down there.
No, mate, I think it's a boy.
Cute little things they are when they're at this age. This is a little Billy, and I reckon when he gets older, you won't want to be holding him. They stink to high heaven. But right now, they're actually very easily domesticated goats. You could take him home real easily and make a pet out of him.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to, don't do it. But yeah, they're kind of cool.
You wouldn't want to.
No, they're kind of cool. They're cute little critters. All right, let's give them back to Mum. There you go,
dude.
little guys. Off you go. Having seen what lays ahead of us, we're making our way to one of the many four-wheel drive tracks that wind their way through the heart of the Barrier Ranges. And the one we're after follows a creek bed, a dry, sandy creek bed that can be notoriously soft at this time of year.
As I suspected, we've got to turn left, head up the riverbank. Oh, I love doing this. Look at that. Right up the riverbed. That's too cool. Wow, I'll tell you what, the sand in this riverbed right here is what I would call it the upper end. The extreme range for softness when it comes to driving on sand. And I'll tell you what, I've driven on a lot of sand around Australia. Hey Shaun, I know there's a bit of water in the creek here still, mate.
Yeah, it must be from all that rain recently.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, mate.
It really is surprising to see water out here at this time of year. However, a recent band of rainfall that fell across Western New South Wales has really done its job out here. But that was the last of the water we'd see for quite a while, because out in this remote country, drought is common. In fact, more than a century after its birth, Broken Hill and its surrounds are yet to find a permanent water source to ensure its survival.
Hey Shaun, can you see that cave up there on the right-hand side, mate?
Yeah, I sure can, mate. It's a pretty big cave.
You want to go and have a look?
You betcha, mate. I reckon there'd be some cool stuff up there.
All right, let's jump out, go for a look.
Hey, cool, man.
It really is worth keeping your eyes peeled when you're out on the tracks because you never know, you may just discover interesting natural wonders like these spectacular caves I've just spotted up on the hill. Have a go at this, Shauno.
I'll tell you what, it's worth the walk.
That is cool, eh?
I'll tell you what's not so cool.
It stinks of goats, doesn't it?
There's been a few goats up here in the day, I'd reckon.
How's that for a view, though?
I'll tell you what makes it better.
What?
The Dirty 30, mate. Just frames this whole view perfectly.
For once, you are 100% correct. It looks so much better from up here than it does when you're down next to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's places like this that would be just so vital if you ever did find yourself in trouble out in country like this. We can see the trucks from here. From the air, the trucks would stick out far more than we would, so you wouldn't want to leave in any other circumstances except to come up here and check this out. But I mean, what's 10 degrees cooler?
Oh, easy.
Easily 10 degrees cooler. I mean, out here, the sun is going to kill you. It's number one. If you can stay cool during the heat of the day and do what you've got to do by night, places like this could just possibly save your life. This is one heck of a find. It really is magic. Hey, Sean, it looks like we're going up high, mate.
Yeah, it certainly does, mate.
I think if this track goes up on top of this ridge here, I reckon we're going to have a cracking view over those Mundy Plains.
It's a pretty big hill there.
Well, I think it is. Well, yeah, it's a doozy of a hill. Doesn't need to be a big hill either to be a big hill, if you know what I mean. Having followed the creek bed as far as we could, the track has diverted straight up into the ranges, and I can see just how isolated we are out here. The outback really isn't a place to come unprepared, but if you are caught out, there are a few survival tips to be aware of. You know, even though it looks like it's pretty dry out here, and it is dry out here, there's always a few signs, if you keep your eyes open and look around, that'll lead you, hopefully, to water should you need to. A couple of little tips that you can keep in mind, of course, when you get up high like we are now, you can see the water courses, and it's a really good idea to chase them up first, follow the rivers down, especially where you find large rocks hitting the riverbeds, because rocks will have a lot of runoff on them if it does rain. Even the most minute amount of rain will run off the rocks and head down into these creek beds, and sometimes if you dig at the base of those rocks you will find water. Also, in station country like we've got out here, keep your eye open for windmills, fences. Windmills will generally mean there's a trough or water source next to them, and windmills do stick out. You can see them from a long way away, especially when you're up high like this. So yeah, she's arid out here, she's dry out here, but if you keep your eyes open, you know a few signs, there is just the remotest chance in a situation where you need it, you could possibly come across water. Soon I'll hope to show you what to do if you find a water source, but for now, we're still climbing and it feels like we're literally on top of the world.
Yeah, we're starting to really get some elevation up here.
Yeah, we've come directly up out of that riverbed down there, just popped up on one of these ridges here. Like I say, we've probably only climbed a couple hundred metres, but gee whiz. Folks, this of course, well, what we're standing on right now is the Barrier Ranges, which head this way and that way. But out there, to the west, the Mundy Plains, stretching pretty much as far as the eye can see. Now down there you can actually see the Aldi Homestead, and that great big long green line that snakes off into the distance through the Mundy Plains is of course the Aldi River, which hasn't flowed for quite some time, but we still call it a river. And I don't think you could find a better view on the property. Absolutely cracking view right over the top of the Barrier Ranges in all directions. But we can't stay up here all night. Well, we probably could stay up here all night. It'd be a great campsite just over there. We might get blown away, but I reckon we jump in and head down, mate.
More tracks to drive.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, of course, driving an automatic vehicle on this trip. Now, automatics, as you all know, have a bit of a tendency to run on because they don't have the engine braking, the manual vehicle. So what I've done now is I've taken my feet off the pedals. I've just pushed the gear stick over into the manual mode, gone down, the negative, selected first gear low. It's just like a manual vehicle now. She's just walking down the hill nicely at a pace that I need. And if I wanted to go a little bit faster, which I do right now, I'm going to punch it up into second, and there we go. We just go that little bit quicker. That's a little bit too quick because I'm about to drop off the edge of the earth. So I'm just going to go back into first. You can really see that going to work there. Feet back off the brakes and down we go. It's as simple as that. I got to say, just between you and me, this automatic vehicle's actually growing on me. Maybe I'm getting lazy in the old age. Pretty soon, and we've descended back into a sandy creek bed, and I'm on the hunt for signs of water. Let's try there first, I reckon.
Give it a go.
Yeah? Okay, well, as you can see, we found our creek bed and it's dry. But
all along this rocky base here, where of course the water's going to filter down out of the hills. It looks really damp, really damp. I'm hoping we only have to dig, I don't know, thus far to get down to some water. We're going to see. If it's any deeper than that, well, I'll have to send Shauno down on a rope.
What do you reckon, mate?
Mate, that's life-giving right there. Look at that. There's just, in fact, that's remarkably clear. Look at the edge.
Yeah.
That's just about pure clear water. Of course, just because it's pure and clear doesn't mean it's safe to drink.
No, I wouldn't drink it straight out of there.
Not in any way, shape or form. Now, there's a bit of a misconception between filtration and sterilisation. Filtration, you'll have seen that bloke on TV that eats things that he shouldn't eat. He does all sorts of things where he'll run water through a sock and do all sorts of stuff like that.
Yep.
That's filtration. It ain't going to save you from getting sick. So you've got to sterilise this water before you drink it. Not just filter it, sterilise it before you drink it. Perhaps the simplest method of sterilising water, of course, is to boil it. And that is exactly what Sean looks like he's going to do right now. It's all you. Oh, look at that. That's just a
Putrid.
putrid.
Look, don't worry. That's a quality filter you got right there.
I'm not worried. You're the one drinking it.
No, you're drinking it too. You're having a cuppa.
I'm not drinking your sock water.
Made enough for two, mate.
I am not drinking your sock water. What are you doing with the Billy tea?
making a cup of tea, mate.
You can't make tea.
Why not?
Well, it's supposed to be a survival situation.
Yeah, I'm surviving. I'm not desperate. have a Billy tea, mate.
That's getting a bit as your father. I want to see you taste that first and tell me how that water tastes.
Pretty hot though.
Yeah, have a sip of it. How's it smell?
Smells good.
Yeah?
Smells good. Better than that. What do you put in there? What did you put in there?
I've put nothing in there, I swear. It'll taste terrible.
Oh.
I told you it'll taste terrible. Get into it. Come on, swallow it. Swallow it. Swallow it.
That's disgusting, mate. It's really salty. What
It
did
can't be salty.
What did you do to it? You didn't do anything.
I didn't touch it. It's been sitting there.
I think a good tip for everyone back at home is to make sure you bring enough water. Never get to this stage. It's an all-time low.
Something tells me Shauno won't be drinking through his socks again anytime soon. Oh, Struth. We're back on the move now and we're on the lookout for a camp. We've got a spot in mind and it's absolutely stunning. I love this time of the day. It's time to roll out your swag, pick a spot and make yourself at home. Make this little part of the country yours for the next 12 hours. I've kicked all the bigger, sharper rocks out of the way, but the King swag will take care of the rest. I reckon Shauno might be a bit suspicious of my bush survival tips for today, but I've got another one that I'm really keen to show him.
Do you want to go get the matches from the car? Hang on a sec.
No, Shauno, look, check here. I've just been and raided the old first aid kit, mate. I've got
Some potions and lotions.
Well, I've got potassium permanganate or Conde's crystals. This is a disinfectant. It's a bit of an antifungal. You can stick that in your. You've got a bit of tinea.
Yeah.
You can use that for that. This is just out of the first aid kit there. And glycerol. This is like a moisturising agent. So when you're out, and if you've got dry, cracked lips, you just put a bit of glycerol on there. Just common ingredients you'd find in any first aid kit, really. So all you need to do, mate, is get some of these Conde's crystals there.
Yep.
Potassium permanganate. I'm going to go a bit big because I want to make a bit of a show for you. Just a bit of a pile there like that.
Yep.
And then you know when you're making your damper, you make a little well in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
And that's combines with that
yeah.
to make a flame.
And you get what's called a chemical reaction.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You don't need much, mate.
From Dr. Graham over here. Thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
Oh, Dr. Graham. Just dribble that in the middle there.
Is that
like that. I'll just pop that over there. And then you just basically get ready, mate.
Not doing
No,
anything.
don't put your head over it. It's just, you got to be patient.
Mate, I'll go get those matches,
No. Trust me, this will work.
There you go.
Here we go.
Oh, Jesus. Hello. We got
There you go.
fire.
There you go, mate.
Take these away from the fire.
And really, it's just as simple as that.
With a fire lit, it's time to sit back and enjoy what is going to be one truly amazing outback sunset.
Get more for less at 4 Wheel Drive Supercentre with incredible deals on Adventure King's camping and outdoor gear. Take your camping experience to the next level with the amazing Grand Tourer Mark III aluminium rooftop tent, the rooftop tent that practically sets itself up. King's portable gazebos are built ultra strong with a tough steel frame, are easy to set up even by yourself and are available in multiple sizes for the campsite or the job site. The incredible new 270-degree freestanding awning can be set up in just 40 seconds and wraps around the side and the back of your car for incredible amounts of shelter. Hit the water on a King's inflatable stand-up paddleboard for an insane amount of fun at the beach, the river or the dam. But warning, it's highly addictive. Plus there's fridges, solar panels and more to make every adventure incredible. At 4 Wheel Drive Supercentre, you get more for less.
A magic, crisp morning and another cracking day in the outback. And speaking of all things cracking, we really are off to a cracking start. Whose idea was it to put the eggs right down the bottom? That's why you don't pack the eggs at the bottom of the esky. Sean, was this you, mate?
Definitely wasn't, mate.
And let that just be a lesson to you, young man. All right?
Look at you.
Just don't put the eggs in the bottom of the esky, mate. It's not where they go.
No, it's a bad place for them.
It really is.
I can't believe you did that, Graham.
No, I'm feeling a little bit ashamed, to
So
be
we
honest
have
with
to
you.
eat all the eggs on day one.
12 eggs, that's 6 eggs each, mate.
Ah, we can do that.
I don't know if that's the World Health Organisation's daily limit, but we're going to have a crack at it. When life hands you cracked eggs, you make a monster omelette, I say, outback style. First up, get some mushrooms frying, beat your dozen cracked eggs into a bowl, cut up some fresh tomatoes, then add the whole lot to a well-oiled fry pan. Cook one side, then do your best to fold it in half. Halfway. That's not bad. Like for a bush omelette. Outback omelette, 12 egg style, and yeah, it was damn good. I might pack the eggs at the bottom of the esky every trip.
I got served that at a restaurant, mate. I'm stoked.
You know, I reckon out of all the obstacles you'll take your four-wheel drive over, corrugations have got to top the list when it comes to being harsh on your ride. They really do knock your four-wheel drive around like nothing else that you will drive. You can't avoid corrugations, especially if you want to get out into the Great Australian Outback. Anywhere that you find dirt tracks, you're going to find corrugations. It's a way of four-wheel drive life, but that doesn't mean you have to suffer them all that badly. Lower your tyre pressures, find the right speed, check every now and again that you haven't rattled anything loose and you're going to lose anything, and corrugations won't get the best of you, you'll get the best of them. Big skies, dirt roads and endless horizons. Honestly, how good is the Outback? It's so flat out here that even the smallest hump looks big. See what I mean? Well, obviously these aren't wild camels. You can tell that, of course, by the nose studs in there. What I'd like to think is that somewhere down the line, these are descended from the original camels that came out with the Afghan camel herders way back in the times when they opened up this country. They were so well suited to this situation out here because, as you can see, this young lady here is eating something full of thorns. They can eat just about anything. And of course, they've got soft feet. Their pads are actually amazingly soft, and so they were so well suited to walking through the sand out here because, as we all know, lower your tyre pressures, just like these dudes do with their feet, and you get a lot further in the sand. And that's why camels were so popular out here. Shauno's about to get spat on, of course, and also there's the old rule that camels don't need to drink much. That's actually a bit of a false thing. They do need to drink. They need to drink as much as anything else, except they can store a lot more water than most animals, so thus they can go longer between drinks. Oh, that's the spot. Oh, yeah. Oh, look what you've done. Shauno, can't take you anywhere. Hit the trigger.
Another thing about camels, don't pat them.
Shall we continue on to Silverton, mate? See you later, you. Eh? All right, that's disgusting. Now, if you find yourself out Silverton Way, you'd be mad to miss this museum. Yep, it is, of course, the Mad Max Museum. And even if you've never seen Mad Max, which was, of course, filmed just outside the town, it's well worth a gander. It's not something I'd wear, mate, but I tell you, here's the thing. If you didn't know this is all from Mad Max, right?
Yeah.
And I said I'd just watched a movie, it was wicked movie, and these were the characters in it.
Yeah, you got to really put it in context.
It's one of those things.
You wouldn't want to come across him and there's only 20 litres of fuel left.
You would not.
No.
No, you would not.
Have a go at this.
There you go. There she is, mate.
Ah,
351 Cleveland.
she's got it all. Supercharged.
Yep, last of the V8s. There's a bit of everything from the movie in this museum. Big engines, weird vehicles, and even weirder costumes. Let's say tomorrow we're going to head off, yeah?
And you dress like
I'm just going to dress like that tomorrow.
All right.
You cool with that?
I'll dress like that guy inside then.
I don't think we'd get very far.
No, it was really a dress for back in the day
It was.
when there was no fuel around. Like, if the world had no fuel now,
Yeah.
then we run around like that.
Do you know who I reckon could pull that off? Breno.
Trust me, you wouldn't fill it out like that, bloke.
How good was that, mate?
Mate, absolutely sick. Loved it.
What
Loved
do you
it.
reckon? Supercharger in here?
Mate, you know what? That does remind me of the Interceptor in some
New
ways.
Interceptor.
It just doesn't look anything like it did at the beginning. That's how it
You're
reminds
talking
me.
about the one in all the bits and
That's
stuff.
exactly right. Folks, look, if you come out this way, go to Broken Hill, come out to Silverton, stop here and have a look at the Mad Max Museum, and then guaranteed, you are going to want to watch Mad Max that night. Say it. Say
That's
it.
what I'm going to be doing.
Say it.
Kicking the gut, Maxie.
I'm so going to get sick of that.
Can't wait till that comes out.
Old man emu out there, he can run the pants of a kangaroo. One of the world's largest flightless birds. All right, we'll leave those two alone. Get going, eh? See you, boys. Hey, little bloke. Come here, mate. Come and say hello. Oh, don't be like that. Come here. Come on, don't be like that. Come here. These little guys, they get on the road. They just become a problem because you don't see them and you can easily run them over, and they're absolutely harmless. Little shingleback, blue-tongued lizard. Look at him. He's a gorgeous little bloke. How they survive out here has got me. I mean, they mustn't need much water and they must just eat, I don't know, just the bare minimum. But this guy, look at him. He's as fat as a tick. Gorgeous little bloke. There you go, mate. Come here. There you go.
On the ground.
Come here. Say hello to Shawnee. I've spooked him. I've spooked him. As a photographer, Shawnee makes a darn good four-wheel driver.
Just like the camel, old mate the shingleback, or bobtail as we call them back in WA, actually stores fat in its tail to get through hard times. Speaking of hard times, we were about to step back in time to when making a living was a damn sight harder than it is now. And it involves getting down and dirty, way, way down. Established back in 1882, this is the original Daydream mine, which at its peak supported upwards of 500 workers in the surrounding settlement. These days it's been established as a tourist venture and is an alarming window back into a very different time and lifestyle.
See now, fellas, you come down to the first level. We're 18 to 20 feet underground. You've got the vertical shaft here, number one extraction point, and also slightly ventilation as well.
It helps to mimic the crab down here, mate. Actually, I don't know what everyone's complaining about. Perfect size. Whoa. Yeah, that's cool, Shawnee.
I found some, mate.
What do you got there, mate?
No.
No, you got nothing.
Just dirt.
You know what's impressive to me, folks? Right up through here, which we just came down, that's all been dug right out for the tourists. So, of course, if you get the bigger gentlemen coming down here, they can still make it into the mine, because these little shafts here and this miniature thing down behind me is what it would have been like back in the day. Because the average size of the miners back in the day, we've been told, between 4'4" and 5'6". I don't know what that, no short jokes from your little mate down here. They weren't terribly tall, and of course, this is hard rock. This is real hard rock. You don't want to be digging out more than you have to. So they only kept it at exactly the height that they could just squeeze through.
All this backfill you can see from here goes all the way back up to the surface. All hand sorted. Once the miners had blasted the face, that's why they had the children employed.
Yeah.
Their job was to solely hand pick through it. They were employed for their eyesight. 2 to 3 years of the kids picking the ore, their eyes would start to fail them from the dust. Once their eyes started to fail them, they'll be employed as barrow boys hauling the rock around underground. So if you're as young as 8 years of age, you're lucky to see 30 to 35 years out. If you're 15, you'd live to around 40 and 45.
Oh,
After every time I hit it, your job is to turn it a quarter of a turn, nod your head, and that was the indicator for the next bloke. Don't be concerned at all, mate, because it wasn't uncommon to lose a thumb with the index finger or broken hand. So a lot of them died of septicemia.
Yep.
Blood poisoning.
yep. Don't just
What do
hit
you
him.
reckon? You ready?
Not concerned. You've hardly waited 10 minutes, so you get your eyes adjusted quick.
Whew. Well, I'll tell you what, I was pretty excited about coming down here to have a look at this mine, because way back when I was about this big, I actually worked in a mine for a little while out the back of Kalgoorlie before I went back up on the ground. It was a fieldy way out in the middle of nowhere. But what's really struck me down here is how bloody hard the blokes back then did it. I really didn't realise the hardships they went through just to get a little bit of silver out of the ground. The tour we've just done, though, is far and away one of the single best mine tours I've ever done anywhere in Australia. So if you're ever coming through Silverton and Broken Hill, you've got to call in, see the Daydream mine. I tell you what, you will leave really with a great deal of respect for the blokes that came before us, because this is just absolutely mind-boggling.
Puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
Really does. It really does. We've got a short pinch to go. We're out of here.
What an experience, mate.
Lead on, eh?
Righto, that's enough culture for one day. Time to head back out bush where we belong with all the wild things. With the afternoon pushing on, we really needed to start thinking about a camp for the night. I'd had a bit of a plan for tonight's camp, and I don't think I could have chosen a better location. Get a load of that view stretching right out over the plains with a cracking sunset to boot. There is something about outback firewood. It's just so dry and rock hard. It makes some of the best campfires you will ever experience. Of course, setting up the king swags on this rocky ground might take some careful placement, but really, who cares in a location like this?
Sometimes you just got to shake your head. You know, I'm a lucky bloke. I get to travel all around Australia, and I've lost count the number of campsites I've had all around the country, in every state, in every kind of weather, in every kind of position. Every once in a while though, you get to a spot just like this, right up high on the top of the Barrier Ranges, overlooking the Mundi Plains, with what is going to be absolutely epic sunset, and you've just got to scratch your head and wonder how it all comes together. I'm going to say it. This probably is the single best campsite I've ever had. Big call, I know, huge call, but can you check it out? 360-degree views, not a drop of wind, beautiful temperature, perfect setting. Need I go on? I'm going to go and grab a beer, get a chair, sit by the fire, watch that sun go down, and then, just to top it off, lamb roast in the camp oven.
Yeah, it was even better than it sounds and just as good as it looks. This right here is why we own four-wheel drives, eh?
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, this has got to be one of the dead set best campsites I've ever been to. And as a result, I'm going to cook up a feast fit for a king. Now tonight on the menu, we've got lamb roast in the camp oven. It's not going to be any old lamb roast though. It's going to be lamb roast with carrots, potato, it's going to have a bit of pumpkin, with rosemary, garlic. It's going to be absolutely superb, and it's a dead set favourite with all the camera crew and the rest of us. So let's get into it, eh? So first up, a bit of cooking spray in the camp oven. We get the lamb roast out. We'll cut this open. Yeah, it's going to fit perfect. Now I've got the roast in there. The next step is to make a few incisions on the top. That's mainly so I can put the rosemary and the garlic into. Hey Graham, you got a sec, mate?
Yeah, mate.
I'll tell you what, can you do me a favour?
Yeah, mate.
And in the little fridge in the centre console,
Yes.
I've got rosemary and garlic.
Rosemary and garlic.
You gonna get that out?
You're getting all gourmet on me.
I'm getting all gourmet, mate.
Rattle.
Garlic and rosemary, mate. The smell of that alone. We haven't even cooked it.
Lamb, garlic and rosemary.
It's about the size of it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they really go together well.
So what I've done now is I've put the rosemary in all little crisscross
Yep.
little sections I've made in there, so the rosemary really infuses into the lamb. Salt and pepper is the last thing I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Been
Is
going to
it-
the
is
gym
it salt,
lately?
salt and pepper in the same one. I find it's good because you don't have to carry two things, only just one.
Now what's to go?
We'll have a look at that first, mate. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it is a work of art. Actually, what are you doing with veggies? We doing another camp oven?
Well, what I might do is I might put this on the fire. It's going to take probably about an hour and a half or
Yep.
so. Put this on the fire and then pull it back off the fire.
Yes.
I'll put some new coals in anyway.
Yes.
Then I'll add the veggies.
Add the veggies.
And it'll take about 45 for the veggies, so about
Okay.
halfway. I'll take
Okay,
it.
okay.
Give me a
Yep.
good chance to check what's going on. I'll tell you what, guys, it's been about 45 minutes, according to my watch, mate.
Yep.
What do you got, about
Yep.
45?
Yep. Spot on,
So
mate.
we knock the coals off this. And just to have a quick check of that lamb roast, we've got to put those veggies in, don't forget.
Where are the veggies, mate?
That is still got a lot of heat in it, mate.
I know.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
Don't drop it.
I'm going to drop it.
I'll be most upset.
Yeah, it's still got a fair bit to go. It's only been in there for 45 minutes, folks. We're going to put those veggies in. There's a lot of juice in the bottom of there, so
If I stop
nothing's
eating the
gonna
carrots, we'll be right.
put those straight in. Roast goes back
Good
in
man.
there.
Good man.
Lid goes back on.
Carefully. What do you think on top there?
We'll put it a little bit, not too much though.
Yeah, okay.
It's got so much heat in there.
Oh, it is amazingly hot.
There we go.
Oh, I feel like putting Jimmy Barnes on.
Oh, mate,
Mate,
it's got to be just about done, I'd say.
you're spot on. Oh. All right, I've got to be careful here.
Be careful. That looks good, mate. I've got a feeling that meat's going to fall straight off the bone.
Don't drop it. I know I keep putting the pressure on you here.
I've got it.
Okay,
I've got this.
okay.
I got this, mate.
Okay,
I'm a chef.
you're not.
Oh yeah, that's cooked just about perfectly, I reckon.
That's all right. That's superb. Now, do you want tiny taters?
Did you make some, did you?
I'll put some on the fire, mate.
Oh, beauty.
A mouth-watering lamb roast cooked to perfection, veggies and all the trimmings, a million stars in a cloudless sky, and a few cold beers around the campfire. This is what we live for.
Get more for less at 4-Wheel Drive Supercentre with insane deals on King's DIY storage and 12-volt gear to build your dream 4-wheel drive. Whether it's an inverter you need to run 240-volt gear on the job site or the campsite, a battery box or a 12-volt control box to easily access your power, King's 12-volt DIY gear is what you need to take your 12-volt setup to the next level. Need a battery? King's has you covered with a full range of AGM, slimline and lithium batteries in sizes ranging from 98 amp hour to 200 amp hour. All built with ultra high quality components to go the distance. And of course you just can't beat King's solar panels and blankets to silently charge your batteries anytime the sun's out. At 4-Wheel Drive Supercentre, you get more for less.
The plan for today, of course, first and foremost, is to get down off the barrier ranges, and then, following a sequence of tracks and old riverbeds, we hope to take in a couple of ruins that we've been shown on our mud map before finally heading back off Eldey Station and out towards Silverton.
Waking up to a view like this, though, you're going to pinch yourself.
You saw the sunrise this morning, didn't
I did, I saw it. It was bright red. The whole sky was red. I thought it was some sort of apocalypse or something. But
you? Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning.
sailor's warning.
Yeah.
Warning, so it's going to be a bad day.
If you see a red sky in the morning, don't go out to sea.
Well, I'm not going to go out to sea today, am I?
No, today you're not.
Miles from it, mate. 1,200 kilometres from the nearest ocean.
In order to reach the ruins, we need to get back down into the valleys. We're a fair distance from the ruins right now, but with the help of the VMS, we think we may have found a bit of a shortcut. Having reached the bottom of the ranges once again, it looks as if we've got a few dry creek tributaries to contend with.
Oh, there's a little pinch here. Old creek line here. The track looks like it goes off to the left from here. Take it nice and gently through this little section. There we go. Up.
That's it. Give it a real go, mate.
You can really see and feel the traction control doing its job here. I tell you what, it almost feels like cheating, it's that easy. You just set and forget in these modern vehicles. They are as good as they sound.
Yeah, nice one.
Struth, Shaunay doesn't look to have been quite so fortunate. The big dirty 30 seems to be caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I think I'm a little stuck, mate. I want you to come back. I might need to winch backwards out of this one.
Nah, she's stuck in there, mate.
Yeah, it's
Up against that bank there.
stuck on the chassis here.
Yeah,
Maybe just run the Dominator straight back.
straight up to that.
Yeah.
It's not much of a tree, but it only needs to help you to come back.
Well, that's the thing. I'm just bellied up.
Yeah, if we can lift you up as you come back, I reckon you'll drive back out of this.
Yep.
This is probably one of the shortest winch recoveries in history. We're only talking about 5 feet and we'll be out of trouble down there, but I'm still going to use a tree trunk protector down here, and as you can see, I've put it right down the very base of this old tree here. Because of course, the higher up you go, the more leverage you're going to get on the tree, and I reckon in this dry country there's not much holding this old girl in. In fact, even down at the base there, I reckon we might get a bit of movement, but like I say, we don't have to go very far. And of course, if I do just use the rope and go around and hook it back onto itself, it'll do a thing called ring barking, and they did enough ring barking out here in the old days. I'll just pull the rope back just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You ate that one up, mate.
At this point, we figure we're about halfway to the old ruins where we set off from this morning.
Where's this track going? Where's this track going? Looks like this track's going up the bank here, mate.
Yeah, it does, mate.
That's a steep little pinch right there.
Nice to see.
No drama for the D-Max though. No drama for D-Maxy.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Having found a bit of a clearing, we decided to pull up for lunch and a cup of coffee. We got to talking about being stranded out here and what you could do to get help.
One thing you can do is try and signal for help. And
Yeah, that works really well.
And look, if there is help around, they're not gonna see you waving your hands if you're standing here. But if you make a big fire or something like that, look, heck, if it was really desperate times, I'd even chuck my spare tyre on the fire because the plumes of black smoke will be seen for miles. And obviously black smoke signals a very bad fire, and anyone who's around would come and see where that fire is coming from.
Signal mirrors work extremely well. You can signal ridiculously long distances.
Kilometres.
Yeah, with a signal
line
mirror.
of sight, of course.
Yep. Well, you got to be able to see it. I reckon.
Sounds like a challenge, mate.
You want a challenge?
Yeah.
I'll go
I'll
up
wait. I'll wait here. You
I'll go up
signal
there and signal you.
and see if I come to help.
I'll go way up. No, you're not going to come in.
No, I might say here, but
I'll go way up there.
There.
All right. Can I take your mirror?
all right.
Yeah. Done.
Bring them back though.
Yeah.
They're hard to find. Over here, mate. You'll need this. It's a Sahara mirror. It's bigger than a typical one.
I was going to say, because you got me a bigger mirror. Oh, that's a good looking rooster.
Don't crack it, mate. Don't crack it. Like I said, these are.
Oh,
hard
I'm
to get.
joking.
You get up to the top of that hill and see if you can signal me from down here.
Right up. That's a long way to go. I'm going to take the Isuzu.
Where is he? I think that's. Oh yeah, there he is.
All right, well, I can only just make out the Dirty 30 right down there, which goes to show that even from just a short distance like this, absolutely no way you can see a human being, but I can definitely see the form of a four-wheel drive. It really does stick out in this barren landscape, so it goes to show what we were saying. Don't leave your vehicle, because I can see that, no problem. There's no way I can see Sean from up here. All right, you might have noticed whilst I was doing this, I was holding up two fingers like that. I'm not giving Sean the peace sign. What I'm actually doing there is using these as a bit like the crosshairs on a gun or the sight on a gun, and I'm placing the Dirty 30 between my two fingers. So holding your hands up is just like a bit of a guide for you, a bit of an aiming guide, and then it's just a simple matter of flicking back and forth. And I reckon that'll stick out like a pimple on a baby's bum from up here.
It's remarkable how well that works. I could see that's got to be 5 kilometres away. Well, he's signalling for help, so I better get up there. He's probably dropped that mirror.
Back to the mission to find the ruins, and things are starting to heat up.
I think we've got to get up and out of this creek bed here, mate, hanging a hard left. She's a bit of a steep climb out.
Yeah, look, I saw that. I thought it was a goat track at first, but no, that's a track.
The goats might have made it, I think, mate. Here we go. Let the D-Max do its thing.
He's scrabbling.
He just loves it. Yes!
I reckon a lot of these tracks out here were once cattle tracks that have been followed by numerous tourists wanting to have a bit of adventure. They haven't been driven terribly regularly, and you can tell by the soft, shaly surface that they don't get driven very often.
Hey Sean, we've got a bit of a tight in and out pinch here. You can see where the track goes down to the left and crosses this watercourse. I'm just going to take it easy, mate, because I've got a bit of a longer departure and entry angle than yourself, mate. Okay, mate, I'm just going to ease into this and then I'll be right at the rear. Just going to ease in and then power up the hill, mate.
Yeah, roger that, mate. Quite tight.
Yeah, easy.
I'm impressed with that D-Max, I've got to say, mate.
Mate, these new trucks, they're showstoppers, they really are.
According to the waypoint we put on the VMS, we're getting real close. In fact, I'd say that we're pretty much there.
Not as light work as a Dirty 30 though. Woo!
Whoa! It's being an EFS, it doesn't have that great big diff pumpkin on the D-Max here, so I've actually got a remarkable amount of clearance. Whoops, I've said that, now I'm stuck. Gonna go across this sideways. There we go. If you go across things sideways, you generally get a better go at them rather than coming in front on. And we're through! A mighty D-Max! Ha 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 ha! Mighty Maxi!
Some of these tracks are remarkably steep, really sharp drops into the creek and then some epic climbs back out.
Hey Sean, we've got one of those little creek crossings here, mate, except it's like the pub with no beer. It's the creek crossing with no water, mate.
Yeah, that's right, and it goes straight up on the other side.
It really, really does. I'm just going to ease into this one here again. Just ease my way in, like this. Just going to ease my way up the other side. Yeah, that's a steep little ascent up the other side, that is.
Give it eggs, mate. Give it eggs.
Away we go!
I think you're starting up there.
And away we go!
We've made it. The ruins just appeared right in front of us. There are quite a few remains here, so we're going to take to foot and investigate.
Well, Sean and I have managed to bump into the site of the original Whitting family home. When I say site, it's because although these ruins in the back here stick out, they definitely weren't what the Whittings put up when they first arrived in the 1800s. I'm pretty sure they didn't arrive with bricks and all sorts of bits and pieces, but I think you can almost see, if you have a look around here, the transformation that would have undergone. I mean, they would have arrived with some tin and some
Would have been nothing
all
more than a
sorts of
shanty.
bits and
would
pieces. It would have been a little shanty hut, and they've slowly but surely would have been built up to what you see today. Future generations have added to it. I mean, down the back here you can see a far more modern water tank. There's a windmill there. So it's all come together and slowly but surely been built up, and then they were forced to leave due to drought. They just couldn't handle it sometime later.
Mind you, they stuck it out for 30 years.
They really gave it a red hot go, and in a country like this, when you've come from Plymouth in England, would have been a heck of a shock, I reckon, mate.
I reckon so.
Heck of a shock.
I like piecing it all together and seeing how life used to be back in the day.
Would have been very, very different.
Having achieved our goal of finding the ruins, it was sadly time to leave Aldie Station. We stopped by at the homestead on the way out to say thanks for letting us explore the property. What a great place to experience the New South Wales outback.
Hey, Sean, that sun's going down, mate. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Mate, don't do it to me. We're going to Silverton, right?
I reckon you just couldn't not, could you? You'd have to go to the Silverton pub this time of day.
Mate, you must have read my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'll tell you what, a nice cold one after a trip like this. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think that's an absolutely fitting spot to go and park up for the night. What do you say?
Yeah, mate, I'm in. It's one of my favourite little outback pubs, the Silverton Hotel. I've been there a couple of times now. Had a few drinks with some of the boys.
Nah, mate, I've never been to the Silverton pub, so let's go in and have my first beer and your several beer.
The Silverton Hotel is one of the most iconic outback pubs that has to be on any four-wheel driver's bucket list. Sitting right smack dab in the centre of the town, the pub has maintained its laid-back country lifestyle, even as it's flourished into one of the most filmed and photographed hotels in the country, believe it or not.
Cheers, mate. Good trip.
Top trip.
And knocks the dust out, mate. I tell you what, I couldn't think of a more fitting spot. Finish an outback New South Wales trip in the Silverton pub, having a quiety with old mate Shauno, who I reckon is going to be looking to put in a V8. Supercharged V8 after being inspired by old Mad Maxi himself. Listen, we have stayed at some of the single best campsites, I'm going to say it, the best campsite I've ever stayed in. We've travelled through some of the most pristine and picturesque, try saying that with a mouthful of marbles, country you have ever seen, folks. Do yourself a favour. I said it before about the bucket list. You've got the Cape, you've got the Kimberley, you've got the Simo. Add Outback New South Wales to your list. And when you do, even the dog agrees, when you do, make sure you stop in the Silverton pub, grab a beer. You might see me here, you might not, but you'll definitely catch both of us next time on Four-Wheel Drive Action. Say it.
Kick her in the guts, Maxie.
Kick her in the guts, Maxie.
Cheers to
folks.
that, mate.
Woo!
Forget building your own set of storage drawers or paying well over $1,000 for a set elsewhere, and get your hands on a set of incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers. Our entire range of Titan storage drawers have been built to handle just about anything you can throw at them. All models of Titan double drawers come with an included built-in fridge slide on the left-hand side, saving you up to $200 compared to some other brands that charge extra for a fridge slide. Each drawer top also has these heavy-duty spring-loaded tie-down points to secure your gear on even the most corrugated roads. We've put them through their paces like none other. We've jumped on them, overloaded them with bricks, chucked an engine on the drawers at full extension, absolutely flooded them and used them off-road year after year to prove just how tough they are. The Titan 900 single drawer is perfect for those who have limited space to install a storage drawer. It has internal dimensions of 430mm wide, 790mm long and 190mm deep. The Titan 900 double draw setup is ideal for smaller wagons like Prados, Pajeros and SUVs, with the internal dimensions identical to the 900 single draw on each side. The Titan 1300 ute drawers are made specifically for vans and utes. The internal dimensions are 1200mm long, 430mm wide and 150mm high. The 1300mm single drawers are also a cracking addition to the back of vans and utes. The internal dimensions are the same as the double 1300 drawers, but have an extra 40mm of depth, making them 190mm deep. And finally, for the bigger wagons like Land Cruisers and Patrols, the double 1070 storage drawers have internal dimensions of 880mm long, 470mm wide, and 180mm of depth. They come 95% pre-assembled, and all you need to install them is a couple of basic hand tools and a couple of hours on a lazy Sunday arvo. You can also add optional wing kits, both model specific and DIY, so you can finish off the back of your four-wheel drive and have plenty of storage available for your next adventure. Take your setup to the next level with the incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers.
If you're after a next level 12-volt upgrade for your vehicle or your next camping trip, then check this out. The Adventure Kings 120 amp hour lithium battery. This uses high capacity, brand new grade A lithium iron phosphate cells capable of thousands of cycles. It's paired with a high quality BMS able to output up to 160 amps of current. The future of 12-volt setups is here. Lithium batteries are super lightweight and still have heaps of power capacity. In fact, this battery weighs just over 15 kilos. That's about half as much as a similar capacity AGM. But that's not all. Lithium batteries have the ability to use their entire capacity from 100 to 0% and still have an incredibly long life. The reason Adventure Kings lithium batteries are so good is because they use lithium iron phosphate chemistry. That means if you're using the entire 120 amp hours of capacity in this battery every day, it would still last almost 5.5 years. Some cheap lithium batteries use grade B or even second-hand cells to keep the cost down, but not here. Adventure King's lithium iron phosphate batteries use brand new grade A prismatic cells. When these batteries are assembled, each individual cell is matched with others and then grouped. Then those cells are balanced, which means that these batteries always function at their best and ensure you have full capacity. Another major feature of these Adventure Kings 120 amp hour lithium batteries is the high quality internal battery management system. This BMS for short takes care of the individual cells. It balances them while you're charging your battery. It prevents overcharge, over-discharge, over-temperature and short circuits. A high quality BMS is so important, and it's also incredibly important to match the BMS to the cells and the use of the battery. A good indicator of a high quality BMS is to look for high current discharge and charge ratings. This battery is capable of charging and discharging constantly at up to 100 amps, and it can do a peak discharge of 160 amps of current. A high discharge current and a high peak discharge current are very important if you want to run things like inverters that need a lot of power when they turn on to fill the capacitors. If you're looking at a battery that has a much lower charge and discharge rate, they could be cost cutting by using a cheaper BMS. Lithium iron phosphate is a safe technology, unlike some other lithium chemistries, and Adventure Kings lithium batteries are doubly safe. Not only are they sealed and safe to use in your vehicle, they've also passed a short circuit test, overcharge test, over temperature test, and a vibration test, so they're ready to be put to use. Some lithium batteries are extremely sensitive to hot and cold temperatures, and they can be damaged or destroyed by trying to use them. Adventure Kings batteries though can be charged anywhere from 0 to 50 degrees Celsius and used or discharged anywhere from -20 right through to +60 degrees Celsius. They use threaded M8 terminals for high power output and easy connection. Measuring in at 330mm long by 162mm wide and 215mm tall, they fit perfectly in an Adventure Kings battery box for a lightweight and powerful portable power station. And with 120 amp hours on tap, you could run a camping fridge for 5 or even 6 days. or you can permanently install them in your vehicle for a next level, super powerful setup that barely weighs anything. And for that reason, they're perfect for your four-wheel drive, motorhome, caravan, or camper trailer, where you need to be concerned about GVM and GCM limits. So if you want a safe, lightweight, super powerful, and super long-lasting lithium battery for your next level setup, you can't beat an Adventure Kings 120 amp hour lithium battery.
Introducing the incredible Adventure Kings Premium Camp Oven Stove. Your new best mate for delicious barbecue or campfire cooking and warm, cozy fires whether you're at home in your backyard or at your favorite campsite. Let me show you all the things that I absolutely love about it, and I'm sure you're gonna love too. This amazing bit of gear has been designed right here in Australia, and it combines a camping stove and a portable barbecue into one. It can run off multiple fuel sources: wood, heat beads, charcoal, briquettes, and more. When it's time to cook up a feast, you can fit 2 large pots or pans on this huge flat cooktop surface that measures in at 520mm long by 300mm wide. That's enough space to cook up a feast for the entire family. And because it runs on wood or heat beads, you can leave the gas bottle behind, one less thing to pack. And when you want a beautiful roaring campfire, use the included hook tool to simply lift the 2-piece lid off completely and just add in some more firewood. The raised and closed design means you won't risk scorching your grass, your deck, or even your driveway. And you'll be able to use it for a beautiful warm fire at campsites that don't allow open ground fires. Plus, your fire would last longer because you're closer to the heat. Now that's cozy. The enclosed design means it's super efficient, and you can make the most of your fuel by directing the heat exactly where you want it. You can even adjust the temperature of your fire by varying the airflow. With these sliding vents on the side, a 2-piece removable lid on top, and an adjustable flue, you're always in control. Remove the entire lid for an open fire, or just this circular inner piece if you need extra heat for cooking, like searing steaks to finish them off. And this up here, now that is a real game changer. A chimney that extends over 2.4 meters off the ground to direct smoke away from your campsite for smoke-free campfires. You can even position the premium camp oven stove under your awning, your gazebo, or your shed for maximum warmth. And the angular offset chimney piece allows smoke to funnel away rather than getting trapped underneath. There's even a spark arrestor on top for good measure. There are so many more things to absolutely love about the Kings Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's been designed to be super sturdy with these 4 large legs that extend the footprint a foot wider in both directions for excellent stability. The legs simply screw into the bottom like this, and you can remove the middle piece for a lower fire. This huge access door swings open with the included hook tool to allow you to easily refill the premium camp oven stove as required. Inside, you've got this fuel rack that keeps your wood or your charcoal up off the floor, maximising airflow and preventing wasted heat. It's a breeze to transport, set up and pack down too, with no tools required. Each of the 4 2-piece legs simply screw together and the chimney pieces pack into each other, with everything fitting into the main body of the premium camp oven stove for simple transport. Make sure you don't miss the incredible genuine cooking accessories available too, like a proper wood-fired meat smoker and a clever barbecue hot plate set to really take your camp cooking to the next level. And a stainless steel water boiler too. Whether I'm at home in my backyard or out camping with family, my mates, or even by myself, I absolutely love my Adventure Kings Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's a portable fire pit, it's a wood or charcoal barbecue, and it's the centerpiece of every backyard get-together or camping adventure, and I know you're gonna love yours too.
You asked and we've listened. The incredible MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer has just received an ATM upgrade to 2 tons. All new Adventure Kings MT1 camper trailers will now come with the new upgraded 2-ton ATM. But don't worry if you already own an MT1, because a retrofit upgrade kit is available too. The MT1 is already an ultra tough trailer with a 1-piece 150 by 50mm chassis that extends right from the drawbar all the way to the back of the trailer. Now it's even tougher with upgraded suspension, bearings, brakes and wheels to bring it up to a 2-ton ATM. The brakes are upgraded from 10-inch to 12-inch electric brakes. The alloy rims are now rated to 2-ton ATM, and an upgraded set of suspension arms also suit the upgraded ATM. And for existing owners, the retrofit upgrade is incredibly easy to do at home yourself. Everything just bolts onto the trailer with no modifications needed. That extra payload capacity means that you've got more ability than ever before to carry the gear that you need and still remain legal. For more information and full detailed specs on the MT1, see the 4-Wheel Drive Supercentre website. Now with a 2-ton ATM upgrade, the Adventure Kings MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer can carry more gear than ever before.